Hello, and welcome to the second installment of Skyrim mods for Skyrim VR itself. First off, I'd like to say thank you for coming by, and if you enjoy the video or if it helps you decide on a mod at any point in time in this, hit the like button and subscribe for more Skyrim VR content and funny gaming moments from my streams, which I stream on 3 different platforms, which is Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, and I stream on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now let's begin the video. Skyrim VR's top 10 essential mods. Before we truly begin, if you start modding your Skyrim VR, make sure you have a clean folder before you begin, and so on. I have made a video on how to do and use Vortex. You can look that up, or you can hit the card above. It'll show you how to install SKSE VR and SkyUI VR, as some mods require that, especially SKSE VR. All the links will be down below. And if you want help with your Skyrim VR modding, you can go to my Discord and message me on the modding help section, or you can leave a comment and I'll get to it as best as I can. First things first, VRIK, player avatar. It's a must-have. VRIK gives you a quote-unquote physical body rather than having a floating hands and invisible holsters. If your hands aren't there, it's just a sword, but that sucks. That's whack. That is poop. It's not very creative, yes? I don't know if you caught what I said, but holsters. VRIK adds holsters to the game. It's very customizable. You can adjust them to however you want. It makes it easier for you to grab your blade, bow, dagger, battle axe, whatever you're using. You can position it in any way possible. It's all configurable to how you like it. You can even have a modded item. Say it's something like the Saints Row Penetrator, but you don't know where to put it. You just want to pull it out of your back. You know, you can just have something on your back and you just pull it and it'll be there. But there's a slight lag, but the next mod will fix that. But before that, I got something I got to tell you about VRIK. This mod allows any of the controllers from any VR headset, really. You just have to make sure you have the required VRIK controller bindings through Steam VR. Read the description of the mod page. Do that for all of them if you need to. Read the description for every mod you install. I say that in the other video, but you need to know what is going on with the mod you're installing. Always. It's not a joke. Do it. If you grab VRIK for your mod list, go to the post section and inquire the dev build for some of the mods I'm about to feature, because the dev build is the more recent and some mods need that dev build. The only downside is the time to grab your weapons. But as I said, the next mod is going to combat that issue. Instant Equip VR. It is the second essential mod on this list, at least for me. It's self-explanatory, but it gives the animation time from the drawing of the weapon in question pretty much all the way down, making it quote-unquote instant. It makes it feel like there's no lag in drawing your crappy dagger, your penetrator, your bow, your battle axe, your sword, your whatever it is, your modded weapons, whatever. It just completely diminishes the amount of time to grab that weapon out of your holsters. There is an alternative option if you don't want to use the immersive option like I did, and if you want to go to a more VR feel, the next mod is for you, but that doesn't mean you can't use them both. They complement each other very well. You don't even have to use it for the same purpose. They can be used for different things, but either way, it's fantastic. Spell Wheel VR. If you've ever played a VR game where you can hold a specific button or gesture or whatever and things appear out of nowhere around your hand. If you ever played a VR game where you can hold a specific button and things appear out of nowhere that you can reach to and grab for its use, like for example, Blade and Sorcery. You hold a button, the spell wheel pops up, and you hover over the spell wheel, let go, and it equips it. Well, Skyrim VR didn't have that initially until the mod author, God, I feel I'm going to butcher this, Shizoff, I think that's how you pronounce it. Shizoff created Spell Wheel VR. If I mispronounce that, smack me or something. Fucking shame me, slap my wrist, something, man. You can configure the amount of orbs you want for each hand, the buttons, what you will want specifically for each spell wheel, and so on. You get 2 spell wheels, 1 for each hand, clearly. You can configure it the way you want it. For example, on my left hand, I want campfire stuff, which is another mod that adds tents. I want campfire stuff on my left hand, and I want weapons on my right hand, as well as spells, but I also want spells to be both hands. It's all configurable to your liking. You pick what you want. Now, the next mod is a personal favorite of mine as of playing Skyrim VR, and it is fantastic. HIGGS, which is short for Hand Interaction and Gravity Gloves. But it's for Skyrim, clearly. Games like Half-Life Alyx has a feature to grab an item from a distance by aiming at it and being able to pull it with some force, like I just did my microphone, with a couple of gestures and a button push. There are plenty of update logs and previews around that will show you the future of HIGGS. With the most recent update to it, it's just getting better and better with each one. It's so fantastic. HIGGS adds collisions and allows you to loot around you more easily by placing items on your back, like the Walking Dead system. But you can literally pull something off of a dead person, just pulling it with a small button press as well, and it'll just appear in your hand. Well, you have to grab it as it's in the air, but it's not that hard. It's coming right to you. But it is so great. It makes it so much easier. Did I mention the Walking Dead system? But HIGGS doesn't give you a backpack, unlike the Walking Dead system. But you want one, right? Well, the next one can do that for you. MAGE VR. It's a highly misleading name at first glance, but it stands for Muken's Active Gesture Extension for VR. It's a long name, that's why it's abbreviated, but it's still a great mod to look into. As the name states, it's an extension for gestures to give you easy access to your spells or items, but it also adds some more things that I'll get into here in a second. These gestures can include hand positioning, drawing glyphs to summon spells in your hands or something like that. You can do whatever you need to. You can even add glyphs in the future. It's a great thing to have for immersion, especially when you don't want to pause the game and find the spell you want to use next or whatever. However, the use I have for MAGE VR is the backpack. As I said, the backpack, looting, and the lockpicking. It gives you a special backpack that you can interact with. Items will be color-coded for you, so you know what goes what and what's the value on it, and so on. As I said earlier, not only does it give you a backpack, but you can be more immersed into the game with its immersive lockpicking. I don't have a clip of it because I haven't really used it myself. It's still pretty nice. If you want to look at that, I'm sure there's videos. I'm pretty sure Kangar has posted one about MAGE VR's lockpicking, but it is pretty awesome. It kind of reminds me of the Oblivion lockpicking stuff. So check that out if you want to. MAGE VR has so much more to offer though. Check out the entire mod and all of its features below in the description. Go to the link and read it all, or find something that's interesting to you. It is a very fantastic mod. Now, have you ever noticed that Skyrim VR is lacking in something? It's not really in the game, but more in the reality. It's kind of noticeable, but you tend to forget it. And it's haptics, which Haptic Skyrim VR will fix for you. Basically, the haptics in Skyrim is pretty much kind of non-existent to me at least, but Haptic Skyrim VR increases the haptics of the controllers you're using. And it works hand in hand with other stuff like spell mods and combat mods. I'm pretty sure it helps with other things as well, like just regular hand like interactions, but you can definitely feel it more with combat as well as using spells. That's all it does though. It just gives you more vibrations, but it's very essential. You kind of need that. It's so good. I don't know why they didn't do that. Bethesda, what are you doing? You made a great game, especially for making a VR port, but it's just lacking. You are lacking in places. But that's all it does. Just gives you more vibrations. And I gotta say, it feels pretty nice around my hands. Feels pretty nice. Like when I'm drawing a bow, I need to grab my arrow from my quiver and knock it, and I feel the haptics. It's so nice. It feels so great. You need a mod for it. I don't really need it, but it's just, you kind of want one, especially with the vanilla Skyrim VR Archery. It's kind of poop. Simple, realistic archery fixes that. Now, originally Archery in Skyrim VR, the arrow is instantly in your hand without you attempting to grab an arrow from your quiver or whatever. You just literally have it like thin air. It just pops up. It just pops out of nowhere. It's crazy, but it happens, I guess. I pop an arrow out of my hand like that from the air. I do it all the time. in real life, clearly. But Skyrim VR, you're practically a walking Dwemer machine gun. Which is weird to imagine, except for those. Pretty sure there is mods that way in the original SC and Old Rim, but that's besides the point. You pretty much are a machine gun. You can pretty much shoot and it'll magically appear back in your hand, and you can shoot again and again and again and again and again really fast. It's ridiculous. This mod changes that. It allows you to grab the arrows from their quiver over your shoulder, which you would need to do in real life, and you can have a more realistic feel to it. Now, there are any changes you can do to make it even feel more realistic by basically having it must be near the bowstring to make it go, but that'll be a different video if it's required of me or if it's needed from me. It can make me feel more immersed into the game, but this is not immersion. This is essentials. I think this is an essential because Archery and Skyrim VR just kind of poop vanilla anyway. There's also an MCM menu to configure the mod for you if you would like. Like if you're left-handed, you can configure it to, hey, I am left-handed. I want to pull it from my left hand. Combat can be tough though if you get hit from up close, which the next mod can kind of help that. Staggering in Skyrim VR is dreadful. If you ever played the vanilla Skyrim VR and face a staggering issue, you know that it is ass. It was handled poorly, but this simple and lightweight mod fixes that issue. Staggering in VR on Skyrim is terribly annoying to combat, especially for those who prefer a close and personal form of combat, which is kind of the point. Skyrim VR is already difficult to handle, and staggering just makes it so much more harder, especially because it's already hard, man. I don't want to struggle more than I already am. This mod completely removes the staggering effect, and that is no stagger. That's all it does, but it makes a big difference, and you kind of need it if you want to have a fun time on Skyrim VR. Can your computer handle Skyrim VR, but you need the performance for it anyway? Well, VR FPS Stabilizer helps with that. It has predefined settings in the mod installer for your specific headset refresh rates. It makes it easier on your eyes and smooths out the gameplay. Silky smooth performance and less pre-projection, and depending on what your hardware is, it is fantastic to have. It is needed. It's essential, especially if you want a smooth, crispy game. You're very crispy. I use it all the time, and I have no issues when I play the game. My recordings say otherwise, but that's not it. That's not the case. I am having a blast playing it with no reprojections, and it's a blast. You need it. It's required. At least on my book. You need it. You need it. You need it. And as I said, it will provide you with an option to your specific headset. Now, have you ever needed to use your computer and needed to do a few things away from the headset, but you come back later on to Skyrim after doing whatever you need to do, browser history, you know, gotta hide something from mom or something. You may notice that Skyrim VR may have gotten worse in performance, but your computer is more than capable to run it, but it's just not working. Skyrim VR Refocused. After a short amount of time that you are not using your mouse, Skyrim will instantly be put back in front and be the main focus again. Skyrim VR needs to be the center of attention for the performance to be at its peak. It's kind of weird, but makes sense. Clearly, if you want to play a game and you're clicking away from it, yet you're still playing it, it kind of gets choppy. That's kind of what that is. This was the top 10 essential mod list for Skyrim VR, but be sure to endorse the mods as you download them. It helps them so much. Like you liking this video, that helps me too. And hitting that sub as well. If you want more VR content and other stuff, you can come back and look at all that. You can see my Skyrim VR roleplay series every Sunday morning. If you're interested in more VR content like Skyrim or funny gaming moments, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to stay notified. Hit the like button as well if it helped you or found a mod that assisted you, and so on, and keep your soul free.